Good afternoon, guys. These are your notes for 20.3, applying the zero product property to solve equations. So the zero product property basically says if the product of two quantities equals zero, at least one of the quantities must equal zero. And obviously, to get an answer of zero with multiplication, you have to multiply something by zero. So on these examples, I'm going to find the solution. So basically what we're doing is saying x minus 6 equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, so if that is true, if x minus 6 equals 0, x is 6 or x is 3. Okay, on number 2, x would equal negative 8 or x would equal 5. Right, and it's just the same thing all the way down. So for number 3, y equals 7 or y equals 3. X equals negative 6 or x equals 3. X equals negative 4 or x equals negative 3. And it's the same. I'll continue to do them, but there will be no change. T equals negative 9 or t equals 3. N equals 5 or n equals negative 3. A equals 10 or a equals negative 3. Z equals 6 or z equals negative 4. X equals negative 4 or x equals 2, and g equals negative 3 or g equals 3. Okay, there are a couple other situations. I'm going to add number 12 and 13 to this. So for number 12, it's x times x minus 15 equals 0. So on this one, I have to list the x, so x equals 0 or x equals 15. Okay, so if there's a single variable outside a parenthesis, you have to say that that equals 0. And then on 13, it's going to be 7 times x minus 13 times x plus 12 equals 0. Okay, and for ones like this, because it's not a variable, I have to say that 7 does not equal 0. And then x equals 13 or x equals negative 12. That's messy, but that's negative 12. Okay, a couple extra notes, not too much. This section is using the distributive and zero product properties. Okay, these problems are going to come from page 753. They're your turn numbers 8 and 9. Okay, number 8 is 7x times x minus 11 minus 2 times x minus 11 equals 0. Okay, when you have something like this, we're going to undistribute. So we're going to go backwards a step. So the 7x and the negative 2 are both being multiplied by 11x, or 11 minus x, excuse me. So what I can do is I can group these and say 7x minus 2 times x minus 11 equals 0. Okay, and what I've done is undistributed the 7x and the negative 2. Okay, and then I can solve like I was before. So I have 7x minus 2 equals 0. and x minus 11 equals 0. So I would add 2, so I have 7x equals 2. Divide by 7, so x equals 2/7, or x equals 11. Okay, and then number 9 is negative 8x times x plus 6 plus 3x plus 18 equals 0. Okay, and this is one step further than number 8. Or one step farther backwards, I guess. So I have the negative 8x times x plus 6, but then I have 3x plus 18. So what I want to do is rewrite the 3x plus 18 so that I somehow have x plus 6. So what I can do is divide both of these terms by 3. So I have negative 8x times x plus 6 plus 3 times, and that would be 3x divided by 3 is x, and 18 divided by 3 is 6 equals 0. Okay, so now I have the negative 8x and the 3 both multiplying by x plus 6, so I can group these. So I have negative 8x plus 3 times x plus 6 equals 0. And then I can go back and solve just like number 8. So I have negative 8x plus 3 equals 0, and x plus 6 equals 0. So I would subtract 3. So I have negative 8x equals negative 3. Divide by negative 8. So x equals 3/8, or x equals negative 6. Okay. The last example I have for you today is from page 755. It's your turn, number 11. Okay, and it says, the height of a golf ball after it's been hit from the top of a hill can be modeled by the equation h equals negative 8, I lost my place, times 2t minus 4 times t plus 1, where h is the height in feet and t is the time in seconds. How long is the ball in the air? So what I need to do is solve for both of these. When you're problem solving and you have a single number that has been factored out, which is what this negative 8 is hanging out here, we can just forget about it, because in a story problem it's not going to make any sense just to say negative 8 equals 0, or does not equal 0. So I'm just going to use the 2t minus 4 equals 0 and t plus 1 equals 0. On the first one, I would add 4. So 2t equals 4. Divide by 2, so t equals 2 seconds. And on the second one, it's going to be t equals negative 1. And then we can get rid of that answer because negative seconds isn't appropriate for a time. There is no homework today. We will be doing the homework in class tomorrow, so enjoy your night off and have a good one.